still alive in that compound, and Imprint, they're probably going to try to evacuate this entire area.
Yeah, they are going to clean up. Quite easy for them. Boogie goes down as well. Imprint, 3 points secured without even breaking a sweat. Perfect third party coming in from this side, but to be honest, I expected RDX to close in a little bit sooner. Imprint had to travel a little bit more distance to be here.
Now, once again, for RDX, yes, it's an ideal expectation that they're going to try and close on in towards the third party, considering they're really close, but they're also struggling with confidence. And when a team is starting to doubt themselves in the firefights, then they really do not want to take the firefights early on, and that's what's exactly happening with the players of RDX.
But here's the point. No, after this game, 6 matches are going to be done. They're going to have 6 more matches remaining in round 1. So it is already time for them to go YOLO inside of this game.
I know. For RDX, it's now time, but who's going to make them realize that? They still have this glimmer of hope where they might just be able to win the chicken dinner. They want to play for the late game.
True.
They do not really want to prioritize the fights, but it's been a major problem, not just for this team. A lot of these teams are trying to play it as safe as possible. And that's not the way you should be playing in these type of lobbies, man. You're really supposed to go for the eliminations because a lot of these teams are going for the final blow. And in the end, the action sometimes can be way too random. It's really tough to survive. Such a big chaos.
Talk about chaos and RVNC. It seems like they weren't really expecting TZ to be here. Things got a little chaotic. RVNC lost 1 player, but they did not stop. They just kept going on along their merry way. They managed to cross over towards that southwestern island of Sanok. Surviving there, it's going to be a little tricky for them, considering all of the major drop spots have already been taken over. Now they're going to have to survive in these smaller compounds.
RVNC Dynamite. RVNC in general, they're struggling to find their footing. But an important announcement to the viewers that are currently watching this stream. IQOO Z9S series, it's already launched. And it's starting from 17,999.
Search the IQOO Z9S on Google and win prizes up to 50,000 rupees. The opportunity is still there for you, ladies and gentlemen. Just like the opportunity is there for RVNC to try and secure a chicken dinner with just 3 players remaining.
4M. Around the vicinity, they've got a few targets near them too. 4M cannot just move around nests freely. Adi, an experienced IGL, still is not able to find the proper footing for his team. In the overall standings, this entire team is struggling way too much. Now goes for the loot on the crate as well. He gets his hands on the better weaponry, of course. But not just that, even upgraded armor and helmet. So now 4 Miracles looking pretty good. Genix FM, after winning the first game, we saw that dip in the game of Miramar. But now on this game of Sandhawk, they want to bring it back once again. For Genix FM, consistency is something that they've been lacking.
That is true, and it's quite contrasting to how this team used to be in the past. But again, with this hit or miss situation that Genix FM have developed for themselves, if they manage to hit, they hit pretty hard. And the opposing team does not really know how to react to that. So again, if they get that momentum similar to the way it was on the map of Wrangle, I think Genix FM can definitely bring themselves back into this competition.
They definitely can. Specifically looking at Global Esports 2 and the position they've gotten, they're way too close to a fight against the players of Twisted Souls. And for Twisted Souls, this game matters a lot. Do they know that Global Esports is around this fray? That's my real question. Because Global Esports, they definitely do know Twisted Souls is around this entire vicinity. Shots are taken, beautiful shots being connected to. too. And Global Esports, eventually, they do find the advantage as well. Freak gets knocked out and confirmed instantly. This is the fight for the revenge of Mavi, considering he got taken down by the players of Twisted Soul a while ago, but even Slug gets knocked out and confirmed in return. Nicely done by the player in the back lines. And now there's Vamp 2 out in the open with just a red dot. Ninja Boy isn't able to find the proper connections, but Vamp is taking a lot of fire upon himself.
Yeah, even from the flank, he's getting shot at, and Vamp finally falls to the hands of Beast. So we are down to a 2v2 situation. If Beast manages to take down Tescu, that changes everything. Global Esports will have found their revenge. And Twisted Soul, well, their souls are going to be twisting indeed, considering they're going to have to wait until they return in the second half of round 1. Oh no, that was a big blunder. Had no information, and yet he chose to step out into the open, gets knocked out. Global Esports down to the last man. But it is their star player, Ninja Boy, the last survivor.
Yeah, Beast overcommitting in that scenario. Not something that you expect from a player like Beast 2. And now for Ninja Boy, just wants to create that off angle. His position's compromised, unfortunately, for Global Esports, but Ninja Boy knows that. And he just does not really care, because he knows his team's got a better standing in the overall standings anyways. They're getting those constant points of 5 to 6 per game, so it's all good in the hood for Global Esports. The elimination feed as well is now starting to dance, as Alpha 6, they collide against 4 Miracles. But going back to this fight, it's a 1-on-2. Ninja Boy is looking quite stranded. Isolated too. Luckily enough, this fight's not going to have any sort of third parties. Even Beast is slowly and steadily ticking to his death. Ninja Boy needs to do something, and he finds a beautiful knock against Tesk. The first man falls down. The exact opener Ninja Boy really needed in this fight to bring himself back in the game. And now it's all down to the last man in the back for TS. Twisted Souls, they can't see their demise in front of their eyes. They can see the death approach them. Ninja Boy barely squeezes himself back in that piece of cover as he wants to get the revival onto Beast, and he will be able to do so as well.
It's a risky move, but if they manage to pull this off, they're going to have 2 players remaining inside of this game. And with Global Esports, 2 can sometimes be enough, all that they need to secure those elimination points. Beast, he's back up on his feet. And Ninja Boy switches focus now, going for the utility. Although the players from the side of Twisted Soul, they are hiding in the back rooms. And Tesk, he's back on his feet now.
It's
Nade being cooked. They are in that corner room. The Nade gets the knock. The last player barely with a sliver of HP. The blue zone damage should be enough. And there it is. Twisted Soul wiped out from the game. Global Esports, all 4 elimination points secured. All 4 points picked up from that fight.
Keep this thing in mind, it was still a 3-on-4.
Yeah.
Twisted Souls, they got taken down when they were the one in the advantageous side of things. Global Esports, as usual, really good in the 4-on-4 collisions. But this time, it was a 3-on-4. But still, in general, squad fights, Global Esports, it's next to impossible to beat this team unless you're IQOO Soul.
That is definitely true. And again, I think the one reason why IQOO Soul is so used to this situation is because they also have the same drop spot on this map. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, our official mobility partner for the IQOO BGMI Pro Series is Hero. And of course, the Extreme 125 are being given to the survivor of the finals.
Who was it going to be? Maybe someone from the side of Alpha 6?
Yeah, we know it's definitely not going to be someone from Global Esports with the amount of fighting they do.
Yeah, that's for sure. They really do not care about surviving till the late game. They just care about the elimination points. And that's actually one of the strategies that is quite viable. It's been working out for the entire team in Global Esports so far.
That is
in
true.
BGI's 2024, they placed themselves on the 2nd spot in the Grand Finals.
So the players from Global Esports might not be the contender for the 125R, but they might be the contenders for the MVP of the finals, which is the 160R4V. Hero
Oh,
Extreme.
yeah.
Maybe they can try and eye that one.
Ninja Boy?
Maybe.
It'll look good on him, too.
Oh, of course.
Or maybe if he's the MVP of the tournament, then he will just get that 4 lakh rupees in his hands. And he can buy multiple bikes with that.
Imagine he gets both. Oh, that's going to be best.
It's one of the best possible outcomes you can ask for. I mean, at that point, I would have so many bikes. Wow. I can only imagine. I would open my own showroom. But I'm just messing around. Moving on towards the game. Heat Beasts, another one of those teams that we need to speak of. In the game 1, they faced off against Team Z, where they completely messed up. They had no clue exactly how the field was being set up from the side of Team Z. And Heat Beast moved out in the open. They instantly got capitalized. This time around, the same thing sort of happened. Arthur's taken down. One single individual player from Heat Beast not there anymore. Now taken down with 3-man squad. We haven't really seen any good game from the side of Heat Beast other than that day 1.
Oh, that is true. And again, today also not really working out for the side of Heat Beast. It seems like it's not their fault as well. On Miramar, at least what I noticed was they were just extremely unlucky with how the fight was initiated against them.
Imprint! A big mistake as they step in the territory of Heat Beasts. And I'm not sure what exactly the game plan is for the side of Imprint too. But this spread out quite well. Heat Beast, they need to realize they might just be in a big pickle here. In a big sandwich scenario. But luckily enough for the side of Heat Beast, as long as they have got the solid compounds to play with, and as long as they're inside of the circle, it's all good. But as the zone moves away, that's when the real panic will start to set in.
Look at the radar though. There's one man from the side of Imprint in the back lines, and if they ignore that threat or are unaware about it, then they can be baited into stepping out into the open, focused completely on the 2 players up front. And if they step out into the open, they are going to walk into a sandwich. We're going to see if that actually happens, considering Heat Beast, they are inside the circle itself, so no incentive for them to step out, be the aggressors of that fight. Switching focus to the players of Silly Esports now, they have complete control of that western edge, no one there to challenge them as well. They're going to be the most comfortable team inside of this game as of now.
You want to hear a fun fact?
Yeah.
Alpha 6 once again down to a 2-man squad, just like the game 1.
And that is not surprising, to be honest.
On the greener pastures, they like to survive with just a 2-man squad till the late game.
Yeah. What they like is to not be default, I guess.
Hey, I mean, look at this. IQOO MVP of the day 2. It's Carrillo with 4 finishes and the 57% of finished contribution.
For the previous match, it was an impressive performance from Carrillo on that map of Miramar.
Yeah.
And looking at the list, he was followed up by Hulk from the side of Ignite Gaming. We have AK from the side of Alpha 6 making that list as well. Juicy from Team 8-Bit, the IGL stepping up, and Siam from the side of 4 Miracle.
Interesting. Even Juicy's right there, right? From 8-Bit. So finally, 8-Bit's starting to make some sort of moves. 4 Miracle Siam. At this point in time, 4 Miracles do not really have a lot of options. They need to start revealing all the cards they've got underneath their sleeves. Because the main strategy is clearly not working out. Something new needs to be pulled out over here.
That is
Imprint, they're still quite spread out as the zone moves out in the open. A few compounds here and there scattered across, but not exactly in the smack center. If you do want to play towards the centric side, it has to be a ridge that you need to hold.
Yeah, there's a hill on the western side. Maybe that is going to become a big control point for all of these teams, but again, open circle, a lot of trouble waiting for anyone who tries to breach in early.
Constantly.
And RDX is one of those teams in the blue taking a hit, and they are being chased down by Global Esports. This is just the worst possible situation you can imagine for RDX.
The elimination feed is constantly going off.
Yeah.
You see one or the other elimination just happening individually. This time Ignite Gaming, they lose out on Hulk. Just a while ago he was there in the MVP list, but now Hulk is not there in the game anymore. The list came in with a curse, and Ignite Gaming, the entire squad's wiped out.
Well, that is an early exit you did not really expect in this game, but again, Ignite Gaming, I think we did see them get caught in an awkward position. Although, one thing, Necro, we were talking about Imprint against the players of Heat Beast, right? And it seems like TZ have showed up out of nowhere. They've rescued the players of Imprint, picking off Heat Beast apart and allowing Imprint access to the circle.
VST facing off against Alpha 6. As AK gets knocked out, the confirmation instantly follows up. Where's the leftover man of Alpha 6? Krax is on a run. He does not want to be part of that fight already. Just straight up runs towards the center part of the zone, but that's where Krax messes up too, considering even he gets wiped out by the players of Silly.
Necro! RDX, they've gone on to eliminate Global Esports.
The last two remaining players, luckily enough for RDX, they might have just found the striking advantage. Global Esports probably caught wondering what exactly to do.
Yeah, I think it was Boogie Woo who just took down the last man with a nade.
There's
Again,
so
I
many
mean-
Boogies, right?
Yeah.
In the first fight, we saw Boogie.
It's quite fine. And Ignite Gaming, I think they've got their eyes set. This is
Of Vikendi, they just
Alright.
wanted to put on a bit of a show.
I mean, that could be the case. And if they're so considerate,
Can go back to safety, so he just gives his life away to the players of 4King, but that's a great way to kick things off for 4King too. Considering not doing too hot in the overall standings, any of the points that they get from here on out, that's just going to be helping them a lot.
I
And
think
for K9, this is quite a bad start.
yeah, it is. I think there's no way we can sugarcoat this, right? Especially knowing that you've not had a good day one. I really felt like they should have started off a little slow. Get your loot done. Play a really default BGMI. Play circle to circle. Get a chicken dinner, and maybe then you could have been off for some shenanigans. But for Big Brothers, things haven't been sunny as well. But this time they're in real close proximity of the players from Medal.
Big Brother Esports just driving around this entire vicinity. There's also Vasista Esports around this fray. They need to be wary of the fact that Vasista Esports, they can't find the striking advantage anytime soon. And Big Brother Esports, they've got their own troubles to deal with, considering Tiger gets confirmed. Doxic is there with the cavalry, but I'm not a big fan of the way he's approaching the fight, considering he can be bite from the back, and that's what exactly happens. He gets bit in the back, and Paradox hands out the death blow. Heads on the swivel against the players of Big Brother Esports, as now they're on the verge of collapsing.
For Medal Esports, still a very good start, but for Big Brothers, can't really say the same. Now reduced down to their final two members, and Devil, his position has been compromised. Medal Esports could easily piece this out together, but no, they've got something to retaliate back with. On call, ready, done and dusted. Sahil OP down on his knees, and suddenly seems like the tables have been twisted.
What exactly just happened? With the way two players got taken down at Medal Esports, for a moment it felt like head was on the swivel for Big Brothers, but then instantly a neutralizer hits them. And now Big Brother, hold on. They snatch away one more player. So now Big Brother once again with the man disadvantaged, wanting to execute the fight where Top Dog, he knows exactly where Devil's positioned, but unfortunately he does not have any angle. Paradox cannot help out the man who's underneath either. There's a smoke blocking these players. Top Dog tossing the utilities, wanting to flush out the man out in the open, but unfortunately Top Dog is now chipped up way too low. Devil wants to get the revival on the fallen player, but is Top Dog aware of that fact?
Regardless of the outcome of this fight, there's still one more team around this vicinity. Top Dog, he's gonna make an entrance, and there you have it. Big Brothers done and dusted. But still, Medal Esports not out of the woods yet. Sort of a deja vu moment. Yesterday also a similar situation. They just win one fight and instantly get third party. It have been quite unlucky as now Vasista Esports come knocking on their doors. But look at the backlines. You also have the players of Inertia coming into play, and Trigger, he's already been taken down.
Even Inertia want to be part of this entire action as Trigger gets knocked out. It's Oppo from the back, constantly just spamming away against the foes in the front. And for Vasista Esports, now they've got their own troubles to deal with. They were there to snatch away the free points, but from the back, Inertia just makes it even tougher. Inertia, with a 3-man squad in the game, even for them, they are with a disadvantage, but at least they do find the neutralizer against Vasista. So that's something they can look forward to. For Metal Esports now, all they need to do is just stay quiet, stay put, not make a lot of sound here.
A bit of a reset for Metal Esports, to be honest, at this point, because Vasista Esports really did not see this coming. Losing out on 2 players very early on, and now, again, we're at a standstill. Both these teams having the same numbers. Now, Metal Esports, all that disadvantage has now been taken away. They can really play this one the way they want. They have to be silent. They have to be composed about this. But for Vasista Esports, they also have to watch their 6. Because one wrong move, and the next moment, Inertia have you knocked down.
Utilities.
Pinned down, yeah.
Utilities are going to play a big factor in this fight. Specifically looking at the fact that Vasista Esports, as they made the collision towards the compound, they lost out in 2 players. Inertia from the back made sure that Vasista Esports will pay the price for this entire third party.
But now, I mean, if you do not want to pay a lot of price for a really good phone, there you have it, IQOO Z9S, starting at just rupees 17,999. And look at the features, right? Segment's fastest phone with Snapdragon 7 Gen 3. You've got 80 watts worth of flash charge. You've got 2000 Hz instant sampling rate. So a lot going on in that phone, and a huge battery, 5500 mAh. I mean, this is something where you can just game for hours. But coming back to the game now, Metal Esports, they're feeling quite insecure at this point. So many teams just circling around them like vultures. You've got Inertia on one side, you've got that instant threat coming in from Vasista Esports, and there has been a new foe into the mix in the form of TMG.
Unfortunately for Metal Esports, they ran out of utilities. Yeah, they do have a few here and there, but they still do not want to fully commit to it. Metal Esports taking their sweet little time to try and think it through. It's a 2-on-2 fight, anyone's way. The only reason why Metal Esports isn't fully committing is because they know there's another team in the far fray. If they do go for the commit towards this fight, there's definitely going to be an instant push from Inertia. A smoke trail being created. They want to cross on forward towards the opposite side as Top Dog opens up the door, and he just wants to squeeze in this nade. If the nade's going to move into the perfect spot, if it does find the opener, well, it doesn't. But if it would have found the opener, that would have been the ideal start Metal Esports wants in this fight.
I think we need some assistance from an external force. Maybe somebody from Inertia, maybe somebody from TMG. Because it's a still fight. Somebody needs to create that ripple in that water, and entire thing might just blow up. But that being said, taking a look at the circle, I mean, it's barely even shrinked. And that's classic Vikendi. But look at this. 4 cartoons. They're being eyeing out at. Eye for eye. Demigod, he knows exactly Vishu. He's been keeping track on all their movements. And for Stange OG, is he aware of the situations? Because if they were, Vishu wouldn't be out so much in the open.
I mean, Atomic, for now, if you transition towards this fight, he was the only one knocked out, but then a nade sails in from Wiper, and it finds a perfect connection. What a nade that was! You gotta glorify that one. Wiper, he's already doing his job as Inspiration. They're on their knees, and he will also get the confirmation on the man who was trying to back away to the safety lines. Rolex is so scared that he did not even want to provide the backup to his teammate. He knows it's done for. For UC, yeah, a bad game, but it's completely fine as long as it's just this one.
You know, a little bit of complacency sets in, and suddenly this team, Inspiration, loses out on players. This was the exact first fight that we saw, right? UC taking on Inspiration, and suddenly Inspiration, they had everything going in their favor.
Yeah.
Viper Bolte, instantly flips the tables. The given chance he had, those two grenades really sealing the deal. But now it's a 1v1 showdown. I'm starting to ponder if somebody else is going to third party the situation. But for now, Vasista Esports, I think a little bit of that replay, that first fight against Team Snipey, and yeah, they've really been having such a rough time, Necro.
We completely missed out on that action. Team Snipey, once again, another bad game. No points accumulated, 0 points. 4 games already done and dusted into this BMPS 2024 round 1. And for Snipey now, this is a big sign of concern. Big is an understatement. It's a nuclear sign of concern, if that makes sense. But RIP on the screen. Rush if possible. Rolf and Flicker ID. This team is supposed to be a great performer, but recently they have been struggling way too much. RIP is surrounded by a lot of foes. They need to watch out their surrounding lines. But considering it's just 2 men towards that compound, for RIP to try and defend it down, it seems next to impossible.
Yeah, for Rush if possible, Mizo really need this chicken dinner. And their foes, in fact, their unwanted neighbors right beside them, Dragon Esports. We've seen them playing from the banners of Hydro officials, and one thing for sure, you know, in the previous BMPS, they had really good run in those games of Vikendi, right? Considering it's their first one, and the only one that they're going to be playing before that reshuffle, I really fancy their chances. We've seen some beautiful moments being created, but there you have it, the circle shift.
Yeah,
Slightly inclined towards Villa, and this is where I think Vasista Esports might be cussing themselves, right? They dropped down at Villa, and now they left it, and suddenly they're out of 2 players.
as I mentioned, for the first 4 stages, barely anything's going to be happening.
Yeah.
This zone moves in towards that Villa side. 4 King, they're going to find themselves in the prime spot, but nothing other than that. Metal Esports, still that stalemate's going on against the foes. Vasista Esports, there's inertia in the back lines too. We haven't seen any of the reshifts coming through from these teams. They're not repositioning at all. Finally, someone moves, and that's Dragon Esports. And Dragon Esports just waiting for them to breathe fire at this point. There's a team in the front, Viper all by himself, and Dragon, they should sense some sort of presence. Does the opponent give his position away? He does.
Yeah.
Now the players of Dragon Esports know that there's one isolated man towards this compound. They want to make the pounce, but still Viper's the one to find the advantage in that fight. One of the men's taken down way too low, but Viper's got way too much to deal with, and he gets overwhelmed by the presence of Dragon Esports.
I think individually Viper still played pretty well, considering the circumstances that he was playing under all by his lonesome. He had to deal with the players of inspiration also. Hence he could not just go back or retreat. Street there and Dragon Esports, they were hearing all that commotion. And the moment the circle sort of inched in a little closer, they realized they needed to get inside the zone. That is where they made the move, and a huge shout out. Out to our official mobility partner, Hero Extreme. You can check this 160R out in all its glory, but now rush if possible, Mizo in a quick collision. Against the players of Inside Out. Let's see how this fight pans out.
For INS, once again, yesterday's day was quite nice. For Rush if possible, it means a lot, but not anymore, considering they're just not there in the game. You blink it and you miss it sort of a moment. For Inside Out, I'm not sure what sort of confidence these guys have, but it's nice. And I'm loving to see this team so far. Day one was great, and I'm pretty sure because of that, they've also got the momentum.
This is one of those teams that we did not have a lot of hopes coming in from. We've got in play